Hi there. This is a reading for the collective. Take what resonates, leave the rest. This reading is Are You Delulu about your connection? And I just want to say right off the bat, like, I'm not here trying to tease anybody or make fun of anybody. Like, I've been in that boat myself. So if you resonate with this reading, just understand that I'm here as someone who has been through it and I want to help you see clearer. If your relationship happens to be your connection, your whatever happens to be toxic or not the right person for you. So the reason why I'm doing this reading right now, because I've mentioned before that I mean, this isn't necessarily a love reading, but I shy away from those kind of things. But have been going live more frequently on TikTok, and I have so many people that come in and ask, is Joe going to call me later? Joe and I are in separation. Are we going to get back together? Is Joe thinking about me? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And, half the time when the person asks a question, if you have to ask that question and it's not, again, to be mean, then you need to think about why you're asking that question. Like, your intuition is already telling you something, right? But right off the bat, it's like, yeah, this is a connection that isn't serving this person. It's toxic, right? Anything that you have to chase doesn't belong to you. Like, it's not yours. And there's something better out there for you, something that you don't have to chase, right? So stick around if you can, if you're ready to hear, either way. But I'm assuming spirit, because like my attention was really honing in on those questions. It's been honing in like this past week. This past week, it's just been, obviously a lot of people ask those questions, but I've just been really focused on it. So I think spirit wants me to, show you what love shouldn't look like, or it's not really even love. A lot of times it's infatuation. Like, this is the kind of love you want. The King of Cups. He's emotionally mature. He's available. That's the big thing. He's available. Look at the Empress. Beautiful energy. This is you, right? And you deserve someone who is available to you in every sense of the word. Loyal, open to growing, evolving with you, etc. So, Three of Cups, celebration. But I forgot what I was saying. So yeah, we're just gonna see what comes through. And my hope is that, if you need to hear the truth that you've been denying, or kind of already, maybe a lot of you are already kind of starting to see it, that you're going to have the strength to, Nine of Wands, persevere, like, not carry the weight of connections that don't serve you and people that want you to chase them and play stupid games. And, my guess is a lot of women, females, or feminine energy, the devil. Yeah. They, attachments, like, you get attached, unhealthily attached to these type of people because it's all you've known. And it's your time to kind of break away from that habit. And my hope is that I can show you what it looks like when you are in a toxic connection, and how we can be Delulu about it because we want it to work when it's not meant to for us. Because there's something better waiting. There's something better waiting. And maybe I just share really quick. There was somebody that I was like infatuated with, and what I would call this is like intensity, and I thought it was love, but it wasn't love. So sometimes we feel pulls to people, like strong pulls, and not that that's bad. but it can turn into something toxic because we're like addicted, obsessed, constantly wondering what's going on with our connection, like what that person's thinking, doing, et cetera, et cetera. And that is not love. It's not. It's just intensity, okay? So let's get into it. Are you Delulu about your connection? And the answer probably is yes, by the way. I just thought that was funny. Spirit was like, well, are you Delulu? Yeah. Like the confusing thing about these connections too, there's a lot of chemistry, like sexual chemistry. Maybe you even have a lot in common with this person. Oh my goodness, that maybe these wanted it. Oh geez, the Fool and Magician. You might have a lot of chemistry with them, and you're like, oh well, it feels like it should work because we've got this strong connection. It's like, well, you can have all the chemistry in the world, but that's only going to take, passion is only going to take you so far. Like, you've got to have, and what's interesting, these cards were in reverse too, but they flipped upright when they fell. You got to have commitment, right? You got to have the whole package. You can't just have, and you can't force somebody into submission. You know what I mean? Like, some people just like to play the field, and really, the way I view it now that I'm more healed, the people that it didn't work out with, and they, like, let's say they were a player. I've had quite a few of those, and it didn't work out with them. And then, what really upset me is they found a person, well, one guy especially found a person right after we broke up. And I was like, what the fuck? He's already moved on. And he got married to this girl. Okay, he cheated on me with her. I don't know if they're still together, but let's say they are. It's because she's the right person for him, right? Sometimes that's karmic, where that person cheated on me, so they're going to get their karma from it. Or, they cheated on me and it's not going to work out because they cheated, and no, there's no trust there. But either way, it's like, clearly I wasn't the right person for them. And I'm not saying it's okay to cheat on that. That's not what I mean. I've cheated on people. Like, you should just leave them if you're not happy. That, like, I don't agree with it anymore. It's not okay. I felt bad about cheating on somebody, but I've sat with it, and I'm not that person anymore. So, at the time, like, I'm sorry I did that to that person, and I know I hurt them, and like, that's not okay. But, I've moved on, and hopefully they have too, and understand that it was nothing personal. It just was an unhealed version of me. People cheat when they're not healed. They just do. So yeah, tangent over. This goes at the end. 7 of Cups, okay. I have this thing down more, so it's kind of, oh my God, stop. Look it's so weird. I've had so many that have landed like right here recently, like right in the middle of the first 2 rows. But anyway, I moved this closer to kind of make it easier for you guys to see. And then it's like, I can't see where the camera's at. I try to like look underneath. 5 of Cups. Forgiveness. Beautiful. So what I'm feeling based on like, so if we're going, is that in though? I don't think that is. Okay, we're going to move this over a little bit. If we're going based on like oh God, forget it. If we're going in a row, this would be the beginning of the reading. This would be the end, or, well, this is the bottom of the deck energy, which that's not great. Okay. But I kind of feel like you're already moving towards understanding, like that these kind of relationships don't serve you. Maybe you're not even in the relationship with a person anymore, or maybe it never got off the ground, whatever the case it is for you. And by the way, I'm really talking about love here. I should have mentioned that in the beginning if I didn't. I think I did though. But some of you might already be kind of in the stage where you recognize how those situations didn't serve you and you're trying to move forward. You might still be kind of in the thick of it where it's hard. And I just want to tell you, like, I'm proud of you and it gets better. Wherever you're at, maybe you're still with this person, or maybe you're still like hooked in on this person. That devil energy is very attaching. Like, you're attached to that person, not secure attachment, unhealthy. So whether you're avoidant attachment, but this is more anxious attachment style. I forget what the other one's called, but it's kind of like a mix of both. But I feel like this is like an anxious attachment. You're afraid it's gonna slip away from you. Okay, like you have that fear. When you really never, these are the kind of people you never really have. Like, they're not really yours to have. That's why you're anxiously attached to them. Now, I do have to say, as an example, you can be anxiously attached to somebody. Like I was with my boyfriend when we first started dating. We've been together for almost 5 years, and it took me probably about 2 years to kind of get out of like anxious attachment and get securely attached to him. Maybe even 2.5, 3 years. And it's because of all these people that I dated before that I was anxiously attached to. That's a pattern, right? That's because of how I grew up, in the sense of like codependency. But with men in general, like, I think about this a lot. When I was younger, I would break up with them. I just constantly broke up with them. And then I had this one relationship in high school that I was like so in love with the guy, and he broke up with me. And I think that, well, I had a couple of guys break up with me, right? And I think that really bruised my ego, and it made me start chasing men. It made me start feeling like I had to work hard to keep the relationship going. It made me feel like, and I'm saying all these things for you, if you resonate with this, it made me like want to do everything for them to make sure that I'm appeasing them to keep the relationship going, like trying to be the perfect partner. Nobody's perfect. You can't be perfect. Eventually, what happens in those kind of scenarios is you set up the relationship to fail, because you're putting this person on a pedestal and being like, oh, they can't do anything wrong. But when they do finally do something wrong, it's like, oh shit, I don't like that, but I'm going to keep going along with it because I need this person to feel good, feel worthy, and I want this thing to work so bad that I'm going to settle for the shit, basically. Settle for things that aren't in my highest good, or that person's highest good either. And these relationships, or these toxic relationships, I should say, will always fail. They just will, because it's built on a shaky foundation. It's not even a real foundation. It's built on falsities. It's not the truth, right? You're not building a solid foundation. I mean, when I think about my boyfriend now, Justin, like what we've built, like we'd be more the tower upright, okay? Sometimes things fall off our castle. Like we get bricks that we've got to replace because, this is an outdated thing, or I've done some healing. So, now I can show up in a different way. So now I got to put a new brick in, right? But when the reverse tower is here, like in your case, maybe, but probably, it's like everything's coming crashing down because you're not listening. And spirit is like, there's no foundation at all here. Okay. Like no foundation at all. So, you get the picture. Let's keep going. And I find it interesting. So this is the very first card in the major arcana. And this is in a tarot deck in general. And this is the second card, right? Toe to toe together. And with the tower, it's like, no, this isn't a new beginning. I don't have the tools yet because I'm not listening, and I keep dating the same person because I don't understand what healthy attachment is, secure attachment. I don't understand what, that's got to go right there. I don't understand what real love looks like yet, and that's okay. Actually, I think these want to go here. This is going to be kind of tough. Whoa. I really had to go upside down on that one to see where we were at. Putting off feeling again. I'm dead. Yeah, it's you know, this is a cycle for real. Like, it's too much. You're living out the same thing over and over again, and it's just overwhelming. Can't sleep. Might spiral. I love this deck so much. Dead Inside deck, you should totally get it. 10 out of 10. Actually, a million out of 10 would recommend. This is like my favorite deck of all time. Did it again. Oops, I did it again. Pretending to like people. Oh my God. Yeah, it makes it really hard. These connections make it really hard for you to trust and believe. Over explaining. That's exactly what I mean, okay? It's like you're ghosted again. Oh my God, this is totally the energy. You're going, I'm just going to tell this person everything that I'm thinking and everything that I'm doing to make sure they understand my intentions, when it's quite obvious that you do care about people. And I'm actually kind of surprised, like the Empress, or, well, we saw the Empress while we were shopping, I guess, but like the Queen of Cups isn't out here, or the Queen of Pentacles, like nurturing energy, because you have beautiful energy, and if applied the right way, like taking care of yourself before you take care of whoever you're with or anybody else in general, like that's when you can get like a King of Swords or the King of Wands upright, or the King of Cups is really, or the Emperor, okay? Like you want an Emperor who's got all of the kings, the King of Wands, King of Swords, King of Pentacles, and King of Cups, like all of it together. You want somebody stable, secure, who's willing to do whatever it takes to make it work with you, and not that you should have to try hard in a connection, like super hard, but you do need, it takes work. Just like I was saying with my boyfriend, like our relationship isn't perfect. We have troubles like anybody else, but the point is that we both love each other, and we're going to do what it takes to make it work because we agreed on that. We're in it to win it, you know? So what I was going to pull some, like love cards or whatever, but I think I'm going to do this spread, and then I'm going to ask Spirit to show us what real love looks like. I mean, I've kind of been talking about that, but just so you know what you deserve, okay? And then we'll do that at the end. So we've got Page of Pentacles reversed, King of Wands reversed, the Tower reversed too with that, calling it a phase, can't sleep, might spiral, overthinking, emotional overload. Yeah, so you might find yourself being emotionally reactive type person, but especially in your love relationships, because you it feels like a defend kind of thing. Like maybe you've had to defend people to like loved one, like people you were dating to loved ones, or even yourself. But you know, again, that's something that's not for you. This King of Wands and the Page of Pentacles, like this person's, or these type of people, I should say, that you have dated, or this person you might be dating now, is very much like immature, okay? They promise foundation, they promise like material, like a grounding real connection, but really what they're offering you is something that is not real. Like it's not, I'm surprised the Knight of Cups isn't here in the reverse. He's a Casanova type. It's not like I'm promising you that in the beginning, but I have no intention of following through with it. King of Wands reverse. You know what? I want to look up what it actually says in the book about the King of Wands reverse, because I feel like it's important. Domineering, dictatorial, controlling and aggressive behavior. Okay, so my way or the highway. Yeah, distrust people. So this is a little bit of you and them, really, but like you are kind of trying to be controlling because you know the truth already. You know this person's was never yours. You know they're slipping away. So you're trying to pull them, rein them back in with control. So you could use tactics like the emotional piece, and I'm going to say this with the intention of, well, I'm going to share that I was doing, I don't do that anymore, but I was doing the exact same thing. You might resonate with the fact that you manipulate your partner with something like either feelings, or it could be sexual in nature. Like, you know what they like, so you do that thing in order to feel like you can obtain them. That's control, okay? And anytime we try to control, there's something wrong. There's something wrong that we're not seeing. And not to say that because I was doing this with my boyfriend, but it's because I used to do it to men because I knew it wasn't stable. So I felt like I had to do XYZ in order to keep them around. And that is manipulation. And I'm not ashamed to say it because, like, I didn't know any different. And you shouldn't be ashamed too if you resonate with that, okay? You'll get out of it, I promise you. It just takes some time. Yeah, I feel like, so when I think of the Knight of Wands, King of Wands is like, to me, the ultimate leader. For some reason, the wand energy, I feel like, and not to knock down the King of Swords or any other king, but they're very passionate. They take action. They care about their people. They're very good leaders, okay? So, this person or these type of people that you've dated, they have the wrong kind of leader energy. So you might be looking for a partner that takes the lead. Or maybe you're looking for, like, you think you're looking for that, but you want more of in a balanced approach with like the Empress energy. The Empress is a leader too. So like I'm saying, the Emperor, you want like an emperor who's not afraid to allow you to take the lead sometimes. But yeah, I feel like the kind of people that you attracted, we're going to say attracted because we want it to be past tense, leave you hanging. They make you think, overthink, and, react emotionally because you just don't know their intentions. Self-deception, escapism. Yeah. So, yeah, there's no, whatever this connection is doesn't have a foundation at all. And I know you might think you do. It doesn't matter how long you're with a person. Like, you could be with a person for 10 years and there's nothing that is sustainable about this person in this connection. 5 years ago, oh my God, that's weird. Yeah, so like you could be lying, you could have been lying to yourself this whole time. I mean, you are, not you can. If you're resonating with this 5 years ago, like you were saying, oh, this is just something he does, but he's gonna change. I know it. And that's what we like to do because we just want to find the good in people. And that's to our detriment. It's a good thing, but it's to our detriment because, this person doesn't have the right intentions, and they never have, and they never will. I'm sorry. Oh God, I just dropped sage on the ground, and of course, like, it's a small piece, but it was like burning pretty bad. You need to sage for sure. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to come back in here and it's not working. God dang, these stupid chairs. I'm so sorry. Bear with me 1 second. Okay. A rolly chair. Maybe I should have a different kind of chair for this. So then we've got the Magician reversed, the Fool reversed, the Tower reversed with laughing through the pain, putting off feeling again. Yeah, it's interesting because, and I related to this too before, like, you're like, oh, well, it never works out, it never gets off the ground. I always think it's going to work. I always think we have the magic and it's going to work, but then it comes crashing down and it never takes off. And I'm just going to shut myself down. I'm not going to, oh my God, I didn't even see the word shut down. I'm just going to, laugh about it. This always happens. I'm so used to this by now. Like, I know this is how it works, but I'm going to stop dating for a while and then I'll find the right person. Well, you can't if you keep on going after the same type of person. And really, you might say to me, Colette, I'm not trying to chase this kind of person. They just keep finding me. Well, then that's when you need to ask yourself, and that's what I started doing actually after my last relationship. I was married to someone and we were together for 8 years, actually, almost 8. And I said, what the hell am I doing wrong? I finally started asking that question. And I didn't like the answers I got, but I knew, like, I finally realized part of it is me. And that's where you need to get to if you're not there yet. Like, hey, it's you. You're the problem. It's you. 2, I mean, this person obviously is a problem, or these type of people are a problem. But, like, you play a role in every part of your life. So this is the time to ask yourself, why does this keep happening? And it doesn't matter how much time you take in between these type of people. Like, you're just going to keep finding them if you don't ask what's going wrong or what went wrong. And it's not a phase, right? It's not a phase because it keeps happening. It's a cycle. That's what they call it. You're living a cycle of the same type of person until you get the fucking message. And it sucks. I'm sorry. I know. I've been there. I've done that. But you deserve so much better. I can't, like, I feel like I have to keep repeating it because you do not get that. That's the part you don't understand. You don't deserve to be treated like this at all. You're not doing anything. Like, you're doing things that are unhealthy, obviously, but at your core, like I said, you're a really good human. So you don't deserve this chaser, runner energy at all, okay? So then we've got the King of Swords. It's too much, overstimulation, panic, mental overload. What's very interesting is the King of Swords is not overthinking. I mean, the Swords cards are air, so we have the mind present, but I think Spirit is wanting you to pause, right? And really think about it logically instead of emotionally. And what I did, actually, I tell people this a lot, but I don't care, I'll tell you again. What I ended up doing after my ex-husband and I split was writing on paper what it was that I wanted in a person, because I realized that, throughout the people that I dated and then the guy that I married, right, I started seeing what I didn't want. I did start seeing that, but I never really stopped to ask myself, hey, what is it that you actually want in a person? How about we write that down? And then, like a year later, I met my boyfriend and he was everything that I wanted. So write it down. Think about it. And that's something that you can't overthink on. That's very important. You might need to shut your mind down sometimes about it, but you want somebody that is that balances you out too. Like the King of Swords is like my boyfriend. I mean, he's got a beautiful heart, don't get me wrong, but I'm the emotion. I'm the emotions, and sometimes way too emotional, and he's sometimes way too logical, but it balances each other out, right? You got to have that in a connection. You don't want somebody who's overly emotional, because then you got two emotional people and then it doesn't work, right? My ex-husband was very emotional, and that was just a bad combination because I felt like I was having to take care of my emotions and his as well, and that's just too fucking much for someone like me, who feeds off of emotions and is empathetic, and it was way too much. And I'm sure for him, same thing. I was too emotional. But yeah, I mean, you need a good balance. So then we've got the Five of Cups in reversed with doing it again, oops, compulsion, bad decisions, pretending to like people, masking, people pleasing, yes, exhaustion. People pleasing is a really big one. I invite you right now, wherever you're at with this journey of being Delulu with your toxic connection, to offer yourself forgiveness. Okay. Perhaps you are already doing that, just saying, you know what, I didn't know any better, like I said. And I did it again. Oops, I did it again, but I can do better next time. And, it seems like whenever you get in these type of toxic connections, and maybe you're working towards a healthy connection like I'm in, but you tend to kind of shut down and not want to be around people because you're like, man, I'm just doing too much and I don't feel good a lot, or whatever the case is, emotionally I'm just really tired and drained, I'm exhausted. It's because you're depleting yourself because you're doing way too much for other people. And you might even be saying, so the forgiveness here that you need to do, you might even be saying, why did I give that person so many chances? Why did I do that? And you need to offer that person forgiveness too when you're ready, because that's how some people are wired. And again, they're like, what I think you need to understand, like maybe you're looking at yourself like, oh man, I'm not healed and I should know better by now or whatever, but that person isn't healed either. Okay? That's why it's toxic. Sometimes I'm feeling called to say, because I'm talking about my ex-husband a lot, sometimes it's my therapist at the time called it a trauma bond. So you meet somebody that has a similar experience with you with childhood, or that had similar experiences with relationships or whatever, love relationships. Oh, shit. I'm sorry. I forgot to turn my phone on do not disturb. Is this still recording? Okay, good. So, sometimes you don't realize that you're in a trauma bond, and that is definitely something that won't ever work. So if you find yourself, so it's tough. That's where a therapist would come in, or if you would like a one-on-one reading about your connection specifically, so I can get to the bottom of like maybe that's a reading I should offer. I like trauma bonding. That's something you're going to need help deciphering, because in life we come across people, like-minded people, and people who have had similar experiences in their life, but like ours. But that's not to say that it's a bad connection, because I've come across friends that have had similar experiences. Justin has some similar experiences, but more extreme than I have. So, but the connections are healthy. So there's a difference. Trauma bonding's more like the relationship is toxic. So you trauma bonded over something that you experienced, and now you're living the cycle with a person, if that makes sense. If you got more questions about that, you could put it in the comments. I'm happy to discuss it further. Maybe I'll do a video about trauma bonding, but maybe, again, that's a service I never really thought about that I could offer. So then we've got the Seven of Cups with over-explaining everything. Anxiety, insecurity is a big one. Rambling, yes. If you feel like you have to over explain to anybody at all, then no, hard no there. You need to just be you and stop looking at your connection like there's so many different avenues you have to take or routes you have to take to jump through hoops and go through every single cup to get with this person. But yes, over explaining is a big thing I used to do as well, because I didn't want to risk my person at the time, and even Justin, that's what I was doing in the beginning too, being upset with me. But I think, like, I realized when I stopped doing this so much with my boyfriend and other people, I realized that I was being annoying with over explaining. And I'm not saying that to be mean again, but to you, because I'm saying I did it too. Stop explaining everything. Stop explaining it. Just be who you are. And if the person takes offense to who you are, then you already know the answer, right? 9 of Pentacles reversed, ghosted again, rejection, silence, confusion. Yeah, like this is not an abundant. So you're absolutely, if you resonate with this reading, you are being Delulu. This person should, if they're ghosting you, they're not worth your time. Period. Okay? So Spirit, can you tell us, or tell the collective what love should look like? Now, this is my affirmators deck, and I mix the work and the love together. It doesn't matter which one comes out, like which affirmators come out, because it'll make sense either way. See, work, I knew. Ego, yes. That card's been coming up a lot. Here, we'll take this top one. Giving, beautiful. Yeah, it's a give and take. It's not just a take. If the person is taking from you without giving anything to you or as much, then you need to advocate for yourself. But then that's toxic too. You can't be doing all the giving. That's not healthy. So ego, when my selfish ego rears its ugly screaming little head, I calmly toss it a Xanax and ask it to leave me alone. I'm a big, generous person, and in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter if someone else gets credit for my idea. Because at the end of the day, when you really stop and think about it, the idea might end up being bad, and then they'll have to fail or have to take the fall. So there. But ego, so healthy ego in a relationship looks like admitting you're wrong, taking accountability. I used to be a person that did not take any accountability with any of my connections. Now I take accountability. So, but there's such a thing as like you taking too much accountability for your relationship and making it work, like that give and take kind of thing. So if you have somebody that is not afraid, like, I shouldn't say, like, my boyfriend can sometimes be in his ego. We all can, but I feel like I'm really good at saying, you know what, I fucked up. I'm sorry. That's what you need in a healthy relationship. My boyfriend oftentimes doesn't admit it, but when we have discussions about something like that I don't like, he does change it. And that's accountability, okay? So that's a healthy connection that you can change and grow and evolve with that person. Giving. I welcome the idea of give and take in my relationships, and I eagerly practice the give part. Well, see, I'm not going to read this because I feel like you don't have a problem giving, but the people that you're attracting just want to suck it from you. They're the devil. They're just taking it all. So you need someone that's giving reciprocal energy. It's like the 6 of Pentacles. It's a give and take. So you might be a person that's bad at taking gifts or compliments or whatever. You need to start doing that. Give yourself a gift. Start pouring into yourself, and you'll be surprised at what opens up to you on the horizon with your connections. challenge. When a big challenge lands on my plate, I relish the stimulation and growth it brings. It's tempting to be daunted, but I'd rather stretch myself and prove I can pull off the almost impossible, because it's way more fun to be a total boss than a total baby. Relish. So listen, any good relationship that's worth fighting for is challenging. If it's too easy, then it's not worth it for you. It's not always going to be hunky-dory. So you might find yourself in these connections because it's easier for you to have that passion, to have that immature person who plays games. But the things worth fighting for are the ones that, like I'm saying, they're loyal, they're stable. They might, be in their ego, or you might be in your ego, and it's hard because you're showing up in old energy. That's the thing that's worth obtaining. And it's not like trophy, this person's a trophy or this relationship's a trophy, but what I mean is anything worthwhile, I've got chills, is going to be tough at times. Okay, but the key part is that person's not going to give up. They're not going to give in. They're just going to keep going forward with you, right? Advocacy. I am my own best advocate. When I have an idea, I share it. When I have a need, I speak up about it. Oh, listen to that. Okay. So yeah, it's like whoever you're in a connection with, you should be able to say, listen, I really need this from you. You're not giving it to me. In a nice way, right? And then they're going to say, okay, or they're just going to show you that, actions speak louder than words. They're going to show you that they're willing to, respect. Oh my God. They're willing to do what it takes to make it work. Just like I said, respect. I resist the urge to gossip and opt instead to speak well of my person. Yeah, sometimes they're the worst, crossed out, less than ideal. But so am I. That's their problem. And I would hope that they're extending the same respect to me. Doesn't it feel good to take the high road? Oh my God. That's so funny. So listen, you need someone that respects you, that is willing to go through this challenge with you and do whatever it takes to make it work. That it's as simple as that. It sounds hard, or I guess maybe it sounds simple, but it's not. But it's worth every second, because you've got somebody that's in it for the long run and isn't playing any fucking games, okay? Isn't ghosting you. You deserve somebody that is willing to stick it out even through the hard shit, especially if you're healing. And those, like, you get no scorekeeping, absolutely 100%. I have to work on this a lot because I do that in my relationship sometimes. I'm human, but the point is that if you're working on yourself, you should have somebody that's willing to do the same and is not putting, and sometimes it's us taking the responsibility of it too, but they're not going to put the whole weight of the relationship on you, okay? That's not fair. So hopefully you got something out of this reading if you resonated. And if you need any more guidance on this topic, or in your relationship in general, like with the trauma bonding thing, or trying to understand where you could use some improvement in your connection, please feel free to reach out to me and book a reading. I offer one-on-one readings. Those ones are a little bit more pricey, but I'm going to put the booking link in the comments. Or if you'd like something a little cheaper, I do video readings. In all the readings, so there's a 10, 20, 30-minute reading, and they cost the price of how long they are. So the most expensive reading is $30. That's a pretty heck of a deal. And they get returned within 24 to 48 hours, but more close to 24. Thank you so much for being here. I super appreciate it. Any likes, shares, comments, subscribers to my channel are super helpful helpful and appreciated. I'm trying to monetize my YouTube channel, so if you could please subscribe at the very least, that would be super appreciated. Then I could put out even more content. If you'd like to donate to my channel, it's not expected, but is appreciated. I have Cash App, Venmo, and PayPal, and I will put that in the comments as well. So thank you again for being here, and I hope this helps you.